Welcome to the Canva workshop. Today we are going to learn how to use this free online graphic design tool by making an animated Instagram post. First, log on to Canva. The website is canva.com, and then once you log in, you will be taken to this screen, which is your dashboard. So on the left-hand side, we have a bunch of different options. First, you have create a design. So if you click on create a design, you'll see there are so many different options. If you're making something like a Blackboard banner that isn't available as a template down here, you can click on custom dimensions and then type in those dimensions. The only difference is it probably won't give you any templates because it probably doesn't have any Blackboard banner templates, but that's fine. You can still start from scratch. So down here we have all of these different templates. So we have everything from like a resume, book cover, tickets, like everything you could ever want. But we will be clicking on animated social media in a minute. We are going to be using the free version of Canva, but you can see down here there's Canva Pro. You get more images and a couple of extra options, but we're not going to be worrying about that right now. So if you click on all your designs, you'll be able to see every graphic design project that you've made on Canva. You can also click on templates. This is going to be the same type of thing as if you did create a design and clicked on something. So you'll get like Facebook posts, Instagram stories, and you can browse through them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to brand kit. So this is actually really cool. You can't add any logos because that's like part of Canva Pro, but you can add brand colors. So for example, if you're always using like the exact same red, like for example, this is Stony Brook red. So if you're constantly using Stony Brook red and you don't want to have to type it in every single time, you can add up to 3 free brand colors over here, and I'll show you where they show up once you have a project going. You can also have brand fonts. So if you're, again, always using the same font and you don't want to have to search for it, you can just put in brand fonts. And another thing is Design School, which we will go check out in a little while, but that is going to be very useful. All right, so let's go up here to create a design. I'm going to click on animated social media. Now, it doesn't really matter if I clicked on Instagram post or animated social media because I'm going to start from scratch no matter what, and we can access the animations for any of these templates. So I'm going to click on animated social media. All right, and now we're taken to the editing page. So you see we have our Instagram post right here, and then we have a couple different options up here at the top. So what you want to notice is, just like Google Drive, Canva is constantly saving. So it says all changes are saved right here. Sometimes, like in the past, I have had some issues with it saving automatically. So you can always go to File and Save down here. All right. If you want to rename your file, you can either go here to File and then click on the title up here. What's cool is if you want to know, like I just clicked on Instagram post, right? So I might not necessarily know the dimensions of an Instagram post, but I could see, oh, it's 800 by 800 pixels. So if I wanted to go make an Instagram post on Illustrator, for example, I know that the dimensions are 800 by 800. Okay. You can also just click up here and rename it. So I'm going to type in congratulations, graduates. We're going to make a little graduation Instagram post. All right, and then we will get to these download buttons later on. Okay, so if you go over here to templates, you can choose a template that you would like. Since we clicked on animated social media post, all of these templates are going to be animated. So I can just hover over one and you'll see like this template has the stars and everything like that. What's really important is you want to make sure that it says free down here in the corner. If it doesn't say free, like this one, it will put watermarks on it. So you could see that has watermarks on it. Okay. So you can always choose a template if you want. That makes it a little bit easier and quicker to use. You can also go to photos over here. So you can search for free photos to use, but remember, again, if you see this little crown, it means pro, so we can't use those. But if it says free, then we can use it. All right, so first let's skip down here to, actually, now let's start with elements. All right, so elements are basically all of your little add-ons. So we have different frames. Stickers means that it's animated for the most part. We also have different gradients, and just all of your like graphic design tools are right in here. So you can search for whatever you would want. So first what I'm going to do is search for number frames. Okay. So when it has this little like landscape background, that means that we can insert a picture into that. So I'm going to do 2020, right? So I'm just going to do a 2 and a 0 and put them next to each other. Now, if you select one and then hit shift on your computer and then click another one, now you selected both of them, so you can adjust the size. So you can make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. And then you can do Control or Command, depending on what kind of computer you're using. C, so Command C, and then Command V, and then this will exactly copy it over. So then, let's see, these are, make sure this is spaced out correctly. And then you can just click and drag to select all of these and make them a little bit smaller so that they fit on your screen. Now, since I want this 2020 to all be together, I can group it. So if you just select everything and you click group, now our 2020 is one element, and it's not split up into 2 2s and 2 0s anymore. Now, what's also really cool is I'm just going to put it over here just so that it's like out of the way, and then I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on position. So if you want everything to be perfectly aligned, you can move it around and see those like pink guidelines, and that's pretty helpful. But what we can also do is use the position button. So if I want to completely center it, I can do middle, center, and now it is completely centered. You could also do like top right, and then you'll see it's in the top right. Another way to go about this, like I said, is drag it so it's in the pink lines, and now it is also completely centered. So it's totally up to you. But I'm going to actually shift it down a little bit. Okay. So like I said before, these are frames. So what we can do is go back to elements. Actually, you know what? We're going to go to photos. And then since this is going to be a graduation celebration post, we can search in photos for graduation. And then when we find a picture that we like, I'm going to look at this one. This says free. So I can click and drag it into the 2. And then I'm going to do that again for the 0, and then the 2, and then the 0. So that's how frames work. And before we edit this, I'm just going to go back to elements and then search for frames in general. And you'll see, I always think it's really cool that they have like the laptops and the cell phones, and they have a bunch of different frames. They also have like letters, so if you wanted to use those. Okay, so now I can show you, like, once we have the picture in the frame, you can double click and we can make this look a little bit nicer. So we can shift the picture over to the right, and then for this one, could shift it over like that. And we can make it look like the picture is all the way across the numbers instead of making it look like the picture showed up 4 times. Now it looks more even and spread out. Okay, we can also do something called adding a drop shadow. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it. Again, that's Command C, and then I'm going to paste it. So now I'm going to select my 2, and then I'm going to click up here on the color. So right now it's an image, so it has like this rainbow icon for the color. But if you click on that rainbow icon, you can change it using this bar to whatever color you would like. but instead I'm going to click on this black because I'm going to want it to be a drop shadow, so that's going to be completely black. Now I'm going to click on the 0, and again I'm going to click on the black over here, and the 2, and the black, and then the 0, and then the black. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is shift this up a little bit so it's right over our original 2020, and then I'm going to click up here on position. Now before we did position within the page, but now we want to work in layers. So what we want to do is click on backward so that the black 2020 is beneath the photograph 2020. Now using my arrow keys, I can shift over the black 2020 a little bit so that it has this drop shadow effect, and then it makes the 2020 stand out a little bit more. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now let's add a little bit more text. So we could go over here on the left to the text button, and you'll see it gives you a lot of different options on the left over here for different layouts. So if you want to just throw like a quick layout on there, that's totally fine. But if you want to get a little more fancy with it and customize it more, you can click on these 3 options. So heading, subheading, and body text. I'm just going to click on heading. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is move it. So just click and drag it to move it up. Now again, we're going to be working with these solid pink lines, right? Okay. So now I know that my color is white, so we're not going to be able to read it. So I'm going to change it quickly by clicking on this font button and then clicking on the black. Again, here's our brand colors. So again, if you wanted to always be using that Stony Brook red or something like that, you can add whatever colors you would like. So you could do that. All right. So now I'm going to double click and select the add a heading text box, and I'm going to write congratulations. All right. And now we can automatically see that this does not fit on a single line. So we have a couple different options here. What you can do is you can use these little white buttons on the sides, click and drag to make it a little bit longer, and then move it over here. Alrighty. Oops, sorry, there we go. We can also change the font. So with this text box selected, up here on the top left, we can click and scroll through the different fonts. You could see like a lot of them are grayed out because those are the ones that are for Canva Pro. So we can't use those ones, but we can look at other fonts. So like obviously like that one's gonna be too big. That one looks pretty nice. So we could do that. And then you can also change the size. So there's 3 ways to change the size basically. What you can do is click on the drop down arrow and pick one of these sizes. You could also just type in a size if you want. And the other way that I find that I use the most is just using these circles in the corners, because then it's very easy to just like visualize it. So it's like, all right, that looks a little bit too big. So I could just use these corner circles, make it a little bit smaller, and then center it. All right. So now I'm going to add another text box. So the way to do that again is go to text, and then I'm going to click on add a subheading. So right now it says congratulations. So I'm going to move the subheading up, and then I'm going to click on, and I'm going to type, let's see, actually I'll change the color first so that's easier to see. All right, so class of, and then it says 2020. Alrighty. And again, we can change this font. So if we click on this text box and then click on the font options, if you scroll all the way up, it'll show you the most recent fonts that you just used. So we can click on this one, and now we know that we have the same font. All right. So now that we have this, it's time to add a background. So down here on the bottom left, we can click on backgrounds, and you'll see we could do solid color. So you could do a solid color background if you wanted. You can also pick any of these different pattern backgrounds. You'll see we'll have to change our font color soon. But you can also search for backgrounds. So I'm going to search for clouds because that's generally a nice looking background. And then, let's see, that one looks cool. So you can choose like which background you would like. And now you can see, once we add a background, this is where the drop shadow actually makes it look a lot better. So then we can start to shift this down a little bit. And again, all I'm doing is clicking and dragging. And now we can look at changing our font color. Alrighty. So what I'm going to show you next is the design studio. So actually I'm going to shift this up, and then I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this bottom down here. Alrighty. So when you open a new Canva file, it automatically opens a new tab up here. So on the left over here, we still have that Canva homepage. So what I'm going to do is go down here on the left and click on Design School. And then scroll all the way to the bottom. And now go over here to resources. So Canva has a lot of different resources. You can look at like color wheel and font combinations, and it'll give you a lot of suggestions for like putting things together. But what we're going to click on is Palette Generator. And now I'm going to click on Upload an Image. And I know that this is the screenshot that I just took, and I'm going to click Open. Alrighty. So what's really, really awesome is that Canva extracts the colors from this image and gives it to you down here so that you can exactly copy those colors. So for example, if I go back to my congratulations graduates social media post and I say, maybe it would look nice if this congratulations was like this light pink that we see down here. That might, match a little bit better. Who knows? I can go to my color palette generator and say, oh, this light pink that is called tan. I'm going to click on copy. And then I'm going to go back here. And then I'm going to click on where it says congratulations. And now I'm going to click on this text color button. And now over here in the search bar, I'm just going to hit Command V. And there it is. There's my color. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is actually, this might look better with a drop shadow as well because you can see that the pink is a little bit on the light side. So you can really easily just copy and paste your text. So again, select your text box and hit Command C and then Command V. And then for your text color, change it to black. And then just like we did before, click on the black one and then click on position and then click backward. And then we can line those two up and then select both of those text boxes and click on group. And now they'll move together as one text box. All right, and then we'll leave this one here. Okay. So now let's get to probably the most fun part, which is going to be adding some stickers. So those are our animations. Alrighty. So what we'll do is go to elements. And again, you could type in like any type of graphics that you want to add. So what I'm going to type in is stickers. And you'll see that it gives you different categories. So it's like arrow stickers, word stickers, food stickers, like all these different kinds of stickers. So what I'm going to do is type in sparkles. You could do like celebration, but the celebration one is like a lot of confetti stickers and it's just a lot going on in one image. So again, always looking for that little free button, right? The stickers you can't really change the colors with, but I'll show you in a few minutes using a different element that we can change the color of an element, but just not with the stickers. So click on whichever sticker you would like to use. And then if you select it, you can use these white squares to make it a little bit smaller. And then we can use this little icon down here to angle the stars a little bit, or sparkles, whatever you want to call them. So actually I'll angle them this way, and I'll move them up, and it's okay that it's like cutting one of them off. So just angle it like that, and then I can just select it and then do Command C and Command V, and then drag it down here and angle it this way. And now we have a couple of stickers to make it pop a little bit. Now say I actually, like, say I'm gonna move this over here, and I'm like, oh, maybe it looks better down here, but then I realize, wait, that doesn't make sense. In order to undo something, just hit Command and then Z, and it will undo it. Alrighty. So now that we have added our stickers and everything, let's add one more element to our graphic. So I'm going to go back to Elements, and I'm going to click in the search bar and type in graduation. And it'll give us a couple of different options. You can scroll. There's so many graphics for like everything. All right, so I'm going to click on this little hat. All right, and now I'm going to move it up here and make it really small. And then I'm going to put it on top of the C and angle it a little bit so it looks like the C is wearing a graduation hat. Now it looks good with this black color, but if you wanted to change it, all you would have to do is select it and then click on the color up here, and it'll give you all the same color options. What's cool is you can also crop images, and you can also flip them. So if I flip it horizontally, you see the tassel will end up on the other side. So you can do stuff like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is uploads. So if you created a drawing, or you have a picture, like if you have a background image that you downloaded from your computer and you want to use, that's totally fine. All you would do is click and drag it over from your desktop to this uploads button, and you just click and drag it and it would automatically upload. And then you could easily, like, this is the Blackboard app icon, you could just click and add it to your post. Now, another thing that's cool is if you click down here on more, we have like this up here, we have this photo option, but if you're familiar with Pexels or Pixabay, they're copyright free image websites. So if you click on Pexels, you'll get all of these different copyright free images that you can use. So it's just a shortcut. You could also download the images from Pexels, download it to your desktop, and then drag and drop it onto Canva, but it's also a nice shortcut right here. Okay, so another thing that you can do is up here we have a couple of different options. So we can exactly copy this page. So if for some reason we wanted to have two of these, or copy the same layout but then change the text, you can just click on this copy button, and now you will see that we have two of the exact same thing. Now, once you have more than one page, you can add a specific page title. So up here next to page 1, you can add the title. So this could be like 2020, and let's say we made another one exactly the same for like 2021, and then we just went to change like this 0 into a 1. So you can do stuff like that. And then of course, if you wanted to delete this page, you could always click on delete page. These arrows just move you from one page up, one page down. Now, if you click on add new page, it will just give you the same background. But let's say I added this page, but I don't want the same background. Remember, we're all in the same file. So we're still in this Congratulations Graduates file, but that's totally fine. We can just select this background and hit delete on your computer, and then we're back to square one. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is editing this background a little bit. So I'm going to click on the background itself, and you can see up here we have a bunch of different options. So if we click on effects, this is going to be like adding some plugins. So we're not really going to worry about that right now. What we're going to look at is filter. So this is going to throw a filter on top of your background. So right now it's got this like pinkish tone, right? If we click on this, it gives it a little bit more like orangey. So you can click on different backgrounds. So like that one looks kind of cool. And then you can also change the intensity. Now another thing is we can actually put like a overlay on top of the background so that it's not so bright. So what we can do is click on elements and then type in square and then just click on the first one even though it's gray. And then if you click on the square itself and click on the color up here at the top, and then let's see, let's just throw a white overlay. So we'll click on the white down here. And now we will use those little white icons on the sides of the picture and drag so that it's covering the entire image. And then we will change the transparency. So that's up here, the opacity, transparency, and then you can slide that. And obviously it's covering our text right now, so we're going to want to change that. But you can leave it at about 30. And then click on position and then click to back. So it's going to send it to the back. And now you can see that makes our text stand out a little bit more. So we just added that little white overlay and now we can see the difference, right? So here our text might be a little bit harder to read because the background is like so obvious, but here we made the background a little bit softer. Alrighty. So finally, what we're going to do is download our video. So if you go up here, you can click on this download button if you want. You can also click on this drop down arrow. Same thing. One more thing actually before we do that is you could also add a link to the text. So if for some reason I wanted to add a link to this, I could select the text and click on this link button and then add a link in case you wanted to do that. All right, so back to this download. So I'm going to click on download and then I'm going to click on download here. And you can upload it, if I go back, you can upload it straight to like Facebook or Twitter. But right now I'm just going to click on download. And now if you click on all pages, so for right now, like let's just say we don't need to download the 2021 image yet because it's only 2020. So what we could do is just select one of these pages. So I'm just going to select page 2 and then click done. And since we have these sparkles going on over here, we're going to want to click video beta, and instead of, for example, like PNG or something like that, because we want it to have the sparkles. And then you can click download. And then it'll take a few minutes to do that. And then once it downloads, you'll be able to post it to Instagram if you would like. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any questions, please direct them to the email address on the screen. And thank you for watching.